I'm Maroon Palacio, the host of The Roonie Roon Show, where we define and document everything culture.
My name's Smith. I am an energy connoisseur, coach, mentor, director of all sorts, from South Central LA to West Side to be specific. And, I do a lot. I can't really give you a precise thing, but I do everything. And if I don't know how to do it, I'm gonna figure it out. Number one is being a coach. I'm a co-owner and club director for South Bay Speed Team. I decided to open up with my boy Eric Madera. We coach out in the South Bay. And it's a beautiful program that we have out there. Second is a professional host and MC. And being an energy connoisseur, that's something that I do on the mic. And I'm able to amplify that energy to thousands. And lastly enough is the mentorship. I'm able to mentor a lot of people in the community where we come from and also those around that. So anybody that comes to me is someone, if willing, I take under my wing. Track and field in 2000, it was actually my 2006, 27. I was a 10th grader, not sophomore, I was a 10th grader. And a wonderful, legendary Ralph Tilley, Coach Tilley, found me off the basketball court. He said, "Hey, Smith, come here. Stand on one leg." Stood on one leg, my basketball shoes. He said, "Now jump to the other leg. Now jump to the same leg."
Well, Lucky Smith, Damon, was in my physical education class. He was playing basketball, and I noticed that he could jump. So I convinced him to try triple jump during my physical education class, and I talked him into coming out for the track team. And that's basically how I met Damon. My name is Ralph Tilley. I'm a track and field coach for Dorsey High School and physical education teacher most of my career. I did 33 years with Dorsey High School. Damon was a kind of a humble kid to me. I had to convince him that he had a lot more talent than he thought he had. That's what I know about him. He was quiet, but always there, always came to practice. So he was just a good guy to really work with. I really enjoyed working with him. In 1989, I became the head coach. And we had an outstanding program, and we developed that over the years by using the kids from our community, the kids that lived in our neighborhood, which I really enjoyed. So we went on to have win 17 city championships, 1 state title, and 33 league championships in a row.
To this day, still coached one of his athletes a couple weeks ago at Palisades, and needless to say, at Dorsey High, Tilley and Coach Knox and Coach James are legendary, but Ralph Tilley found me from the basketball court and put me on the jump runway, and that was it.
Let's dive into your ability to perform and conquer energy.
Yeah.
I myself is a person that thrives off energy, but I'm unable at the moment to contain and keep myself disciplined.
Okay.
I lose myself to the emotions, either really high or really low.
Okay.
And I would love for you to just kind of speak on that, since you're the energy connoisseur.
You know what? I love that. Energy has what I like to call a spectrum, right? As you mentioned, it could go high, it can go low. The biggest thing about energy is staying balanced, my friend, right? You have to stay balanced. Why? Because what you do can affect somebody else. So with that being said, when I'm on the mic and I'm entertaining thousands of people, I have to be mindful of my energy, right? Even though I come out at 100, right, on the scale of 100% to quantify it, I have to be mindful that I have to keep everything up, right? Even when mine start dropping. Why? Because I'm the heartbeat of the situation. Now, what takes the quality to keep that energy balance is focus, right? Focus. I thrive in chaos. As you guys know, we come from an area of chaos. You feel me? So you have to focus on the things that you see ahead, right? Because you can get lost in the sauce. You know what I'm saying? You got too much dip on your chip. But for me, it's staying focused, to stay disciplined, to say I have to be focused. So I don't let anything take me away from my emotions in that moment. And also, I stay grounded in the moment.
Right. And how did you find yourself, how did that lead you into hosting? Because I know hosting is very much, you got to manage the the space. It's not you. You're managing the,
Yeah.
the space, the venue.
For me to host a day of an event starts the week before, right? It starts that week of. I get into the mindset of saying, hey, I have an event, right? Or more so as I conjure myself to be an experience. I have an experience that I'm going to share with people on, let's say, Saturday, right? So for me, it starts Monday. What does that mean? I'm in the lab. I'm doing research. I'm looking on YouTube for my influencers, right? As far as the people who influence me, Michael Jackson, Breezy, Omarion, people they compare me to, right? Also, because I do dance and I sing on stage, I do a lot of other stuff too. I'm working on me, right? And relieving any type of stress that I can prior to the show. Secondly, I'm working on my style, my outfit, what am I gonna wear? I like to support, young clothing, independent clothing lines, more so black clothing lines from the city. So I was like, yo, you got a shirt I wanna wear, I'm gonna wear this on stage. And most people bless me and I bless them in return, right? From that, I segue to, let's say the day before the show. We're gonna fast forward. I work on working out. I make sure I'm eating right. I make sure everything from my travel bag is prepped. I got everything I need and then some. Day of the show, I'm listening to Bob Marley. I'm listening to good vibes, you feel me? And it's not until I enter what I call the window of confidence, which is about 2 hours before the show, because the window of confidence can look like this. Once that window crosses over, it becomes anxiety. So you got to be mindful to stay in the window of confidence, right? Keep that open, right? Don't get too nervous, because then it starts to get anxious and you're just like, oh man, this is making me nervous. No, keep it open, right? From that, I'm ready to go. I hosted my first show in 2010 in front of 849 people in the gym at Cal State LA for Midnight Madness as a sophomore in college. And it wasn't until people said, hey, how long you been doing this? I said, it's my first time ever. They said, nah, you lying. I said, nah, this is it. I just grabbed the mic and said I could do this. And they said, you're a natural. From that, I never questioned it. The number one is discipline. Discipline. I'm gonna tell you what, coming from the streets, you really gotta have discipline and knowing what to do and how to do it and sticking to that, right? Number two is a growth mindset. You gotta be able to grow. You gotta be coachable. You gotta be able to say, I'm gonna learn the lesson from the loss that I took and I'm gonna grow. I'm gonna learn from that. And three is do the work. You have to be willing to do the work. You have to be able to put your foot down, 10 toes down on the front line and go do it. No excuses.
I like the way you said 10 toes down on the front line. You got to go do it.
Yeah.
And you say discipline. What helped you find discipline in your early life?
I'm going to be honest with you, man. As you may relate to it, coming from South Central, if you're not disciplined, you can fall off the tracks, fall out the line or fall outside the boundaries of the path that God has put you on. For me, I'll be honest with you, discipline kept me sane. Discipline kept me alive. And it was one of those things that if I wasn't disciplined, I would not be the leader that I am today. I would not have been focused as I am today. And lastly, I would not be alive, right? Discipline will keep you sane. Discipline will keep you on the right track, so to speak.
And you spoke about how being in South Central it is easy to fall off the track. I myself have fallen off the track multiple times, and I found myself struggling to find myself back up. And what are a few things that kept your attention to kind of instill or put your discipline to work?
I would say, honestly, the youth. You guys included, it was finding a lot of like-minded black brothers like myself and sisters that didn't have that type of mentorship or didn't have that type of positive role model, that guidance, right? I took that as the baton that God gave me and said, hey, Luck, it's your turn. So I said, not having me grow up, I said, it's really my duty to come out here and lead the next generation in the right direction. So I took that baton and I hit that thing rolling, you feel me? Coach Daryl Taylor, who I talk to every day legitimately, who's one of my best friends, and like a father figure to me, he actually, we share the same sentiments to pass the blessing of knowledge. You can't take it with you, you know what I'm saying? So it's my duty, God-given, to pass this to the next generation.
Coached track and field for, about 35 plus years. I've coached basketball, coached softball, did a little cross country, but mainly I've coached track and field for almost 40 years now. And I was at Morningside from about 1986 to 2002. A mentor or a person who just watched and told them what I thought about it. But mainly it's been high school and some under high school, so before they get to high school. So it has been my my bread and butter, basically, yeah. Well, that educator kind of thing, looking to be able to work as a teacher and a coach, you know. If I went straight coaching, that means I might be moving, going different places. You know, this way I'm able to stay in the area that I am, still keep a job if I wanted to, and then coach as well. So that's been the main reason that I've been in high school. I've thought about maybe going, but then I also felt like maybe when you go higher, it's more serious. You know, you have maybe less contact with them because it's on a serious base. Whereas in high school, you know, you have a lot of contact. And I think you can do a lot more impactfully with somebody, you know. My goal was not just to teach you how to run and jump, but it's been to teach people how to be good people, you know, how to treat other people. You know, I'm teaching you, yes, the fundamentals of track, but I'm hoping that I'm leading you in the right way to, you know, be a good human being. Well, Coach Tilley was asking me the same thing. Hey, man, come over and look at this group of guys I got. I think you could help them. And I was going through some changes with my job and everything. And I said, I got a little time. So I said, hey, let me go over there. So when I came over, he had 4 or 5 guys, and Lucky was one of those guys. He was an underclassman then, and he was hurt that season. And he was telling me how good he was, Coach was telling me how good he was, and I said, oh, this guy can't do nothing, you know. So that's how I met him. So originally, I think he was a sophomore, and so I didn't really get to see him and work with him like I wanted to until his next year, his junior year, where he was healthy and we started to work. So that's how I met him, yes.
When in that moment of meeting him, what were some traits that stood out to you? That just immediately when you first seen it, oh, this guy, these 3 things stood out to me. Quality, like great qualities that stood out to you.
Well, I tried to throw a little shade on him, and he wouldn't let me do it. Oh man, I can do it, you know. And I like that because if I ask a person, you know, can you do something? And some people they'll be modest, you know. Some people just say, if you think so. And then some people will tell you, I can, you know. I like a person who can tell me they can. And he was one of those people.
What does coaching bring you?
You know what? There's a few things that coaching bring me. Number one is accountability, right? Coaching makes me accountable because my athletes are accountable. They show up for those that are invested in me and my training development, my curriculum, and my program. I'm a developmental coach and a science coach. And when you're vested in me, it makes me accountable to do my work, right? What that means, I sit and watch the jumps every day. I literally watch jumps every day. Film, and this is not an exaggeration. I watch film from all of my athletes all the time, past and present, all the time, dissecting film, right? And for someone who's under my tenureship, let's say you're going to be a senior next year, I'm watching your film because the off season is going to put you above the curve, right? So accountability is what it gives me. 2, it gives me fulfillment to know that I'm giving these athletes tools to succeed for tomorrow, right? Because tomorrow's prep starts yesterday. And traditionally with that, I have to make sure that I do my job to get them set up for them to do their job, right? That's a part of being a manager, that's part of being a director, that's a part of being a leader, is I give my team the tools to succeed, right? And if I don't know how to do something, I'm gonna figure it out. Lastly enough, what it gives me is the joy, man. It's a lot of emotional investment that you put in these kids, right? to see them succeed and having them get a PR. My tagline for my club is PRs are guaranteed. You know, that's the thing. And you invest and follow our program and follow our leadership, PRs are literally guaranteed. So, you know, it's joy. I get a lot of joy from seeing these kids do what they want to do. I have a goal commitment contract that they sign. You put your goals on paper, you sign it, your parents sign it, I sign it. And guess what? You said you wanted to hit 22.5 by winning championships in January. You hit 22.6. We got to sign a new goal. You're like, I did it. I said, I know. Now it's time to set a new goal. And granted, we're not chasing numbers, but we're setting goals, raising the bar, demolishing the bar, and then raising it again. You feel me? So that's pretty much what it gives me, man.